Hello and welcome to Gareth Icke Tonight. So Keir Starmer, the son of a toolmaker, as he often likes to remind us, is facing fresh embarrassment this week. No, it's nothing to do with Ukrainian male escorts. That's still being kept under wraps. No doubt a career-ending revelation to be saved for the front pages should he cease to follow his master's orders. No, this time the embarrassment comes as a result of his chief of staff and apparent mastermind behind his rise to power, Morgan McSweeney. You may recognise the name McSweeney as he's the man that formed the CCDH, the Centre for Countering Digital Hate. McSweeney kept his involvement with the CCDH behind closed doors while their CEO and mouth, Imran Ahmed, gobbled on every microphone known to man. I say gobbled rather than gobbles because he seems to have done a Lord Lucan in recent months himself. Maybe because the online safety bill that's got nothing to do with safety and everything to do with censorship, the bill that the CCDH fought so hard to pass into law, has now done just that. Because of that, Imran and the CCDH have achieved their objective, so maybe now they get to relax in the sunshine. You see, the introduction of the online Protect the Narrative bill isn't the only objective achieved by the McSweeney-founded CCDH. They are the organisation that coined the term the disinformation dozen to smear prominent medical professionals that were telling us what's now been shown to be the truth about the COVID-19 lockdowns, mask mandates, and poisonous injections. In 2020, they suddenly morphed into an attack dog on behalf of Big Pharma and the pro-lockdown tyrants in government. They proudly had vast numbers of people who were rightly questioning the official COVID narrative deplatformed, including my father. They openly gloated about it too. After my speech in Trafalgar Square went viral in 2020, who did the Times newspaper go to in an attempt to smear me for telling the truth? That's right, they went to the CCDH. After COVID, they morphed into peddlers of climate hoax propaganda and silencers of dissenters in that arena too. Now I say morphed because pro-Big Pharma and pro-climate hysteria wasn't their original gig. Oh no. You'll be shocked to hear that was more related to Israel, and more specifically targeting those that dared to speak against the genocidal Middle Eastern state. McSweeney took over the leadership of the think tank Labour Together in 2017, a think tank with board members such as the super wealthy Israel lobbyist Sir Trevor Chin, and immediately set about undermining the leadership of the pro-Palestinian Jeremy Corbyn. Leaked documents obtained by the Guardian newspaper showed that Labour Together had a plan to purge the party of what they termed to be democratic socialists. So supporters of Jeremy Corbyn then. They also founded Stop Funding Fake News, which you'll again be shocked to hear almost exclusively targeted publications that were supportive of Jeremy Corbyn by attempting, often successfully, to drive away their advertisers. Labour Together, with McSweeney at the helm, also worked on the anti-Semitism investigation that ultimately saw the end of Corbyn's leadership and the pro-Palestinian members of the UK Labour Party. At this time, Labour Together, Stop Funding Hate and the CCDH were all working in tandem, and the rabidly pro-Israel media was only too happy to hand them the microphone at every opportunity. Roll forward to today, and Sir Keir Starmer is our Prime Minister, elevated to power through the strategic prowess of the Irishman, Morgan McSweeney, and a bucket load of Israel firster Sir Trevor Chin's cash. In fact, Sir Trevor Chin is such a force for Israel in British politics that the President of Israel last year awarded him a Medal of Honour for services to Israel. It's a stitch up. And now the once Great Britain is lumbered with the toolmaker's tool, Sir Keir Starmer, as our leader, overseeing the destruction of our nation. Once Starmer was elevated to power, Morgan McSweeney was rewarded with a job as his Chief of Staff in Downing Street, advising the government on behalf of, well, you tell me. Morgan advised Starmer to smash the gangs smuggling illegal immigrants across the Channel into Britain, not because they actually want to stop mass immigration, that's far from the long-term goal, but because they could see that public opinion was moving towards Nigel Farage and towards Reform UK. Starmer needed to be seen to be doing something. And so the now overused buzz phrase, "smash the gangs," was born. How surprising it is then to read this week that a company founded by Morgan McSweeney's father Tim has just taken £6 million to, wait for it, house asylum seekers in Ireland. How surprising is it? Not very. It's politics. What they say they think and what they actually think and therefore do are never the same thing. They want you focused on the £5 note their right hand is giving you and not the left hand that's just lifted your wallet. Of course, this isn't just about Morgan McSweeney and his dad, or Sir Keir Starmer, or Labour in general. They're all crooks and they're all frauds. All politicians, all parties, all so-called anti-hate groups, all self-prescribed anti-misinformation groups all over the world are all merely fronts for the permanent establishment. They're just different tentacles of the same beast, a beast that claims to serve and protect the very people it's preparing to devour. We're too late in the day now to wait for another saviour. The agenda to enslave humanity is too far down the tracks to vote for another corrupt liar in the hope that this one might be different. Only we can save ourselves, and the first step towards achieving that victorious end is to stop looking outside and start looking inwards. What are we going to do? Not what are they going to do? What are we going to do?